Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining Fifth House's Deep Listening Tuesday. Today's Tuesday, right? Yes. So happy to be here. And we actually have full house. Yes, I know usually on Tuesdays, some of our Fifth House members had to be at our different location for residencies. So they could join us, but we actually have everyone here today. So we have Kelsey, have Mason and Hareen, and Parker's in the boiler room is running the stream. And we have our lovely Karen and Kelly joining us. And I see Hannah, she might be in the boiler room too. I see her, but not really, but she's there. So thanks so much for being here this morning. And always, we would like to give thanks to our mentors, Brian and Lila, Pearl, and wishing them a great week. I hope they're having a wonderful, I don't know the weather, how's the weather been in Wisconsin? Here it was very cold and windy and rainy in Chicago for a couple days, a lot of rain, especially yesterday. But today actually feels pretty good. We got some sunshine, and I think I see some sunshine at Karen's house. I see it. Yes. So awesome. Nice. Why don't we just kind of start stretching and just move a little bit just to start our day. So you know, just by stretching. With a train background sound. Just gonna stretch your lower body. And I always forget to stretch my legs. Karen, I think we need you sometime soon on the stream, leading you. Kelly, if you can lead one of the sessions with your soccer ball. I think it's about time.
We will. Let's just plan it.
Yes. Okay. So the movement score that I wanted to do today, it's called Becoming by Hello is Gold. And I think this score would be wonderful, like do it outdoor, like when you're in the woods. But since we can't right now, but just imagine that you're in the woods, someplace calm in nature, and find a spot to begin. Take a couple of moments to consider the qualities of clouds, of wind, of rocks. Some qualities of clouds: softening edges, misty, floating, constantly changing. And some qualities of wind: not seen, more felt, much variation in force, tempo and temperament, mysterious. Some qualities of rock: solid, old, dense, extreme slow movement over a very long period of time. The dance is to become a cloud body, become a wind body, become a rock body. You can alternate between all three, but always know which one you are. And you can make momentarily physical contact with other bodies, wind over rocks, cloud through winds, etc. So we're going to try to become a cloud, wind, or rocks, or combination of those. slowly we will just come back to ourselves. We can finish with 3 big gulps, which is we're just going to take a 3 big deep breath, just taking all in. Just putting it down. I'm just going to do 2 more. Take all the good energies. Just going to put it into our body. Let's do one last time. Okay. Thank you. Anybody would like to share anything? Yes, Karen.
This time I was really thinking about what forms clouds and wind and rocks. And like I was thinking about sedimentary rock, and I was thinking about like, exploding volcanoes, or I was thinking about, how wind currents and anyway, that was really interesting to me. And I just wanted to also say that the breathing exercise, I've started doing that at the market, because like sometimes there's a lot of energy where I work, and thinking about like integrating all the energy that is meant for me and letting the rest of it wash past me. And that's been a helpful meditation for me. So, and these are all things I got from deep listening. So thank you.
Ooh, I love that. Yes. And I totally agree that, you know, between the season changes, especially this time, like everything changes. So it's something you can think about how those changes over time. And also I love how you're doing the incorporating the breathing. Yeah, I think that could also be very like helpful when you're like sometimes in a crowded place, you're overwhelmed about like, everything, then you can try to like select the energy that you want in a way, like in your mindset. Yeah, and letting go of things that you don't need. Yeah, that's a wonderful. Thank you, Karen, for sharing.
I was experimenting with floating and how to create a sense of floating. And it was sort of a fluke, but I kind of found that if I exhaled, hang on, how did I do this? If I exhaled while very slowly raising my arms, there was like this opposite pressuring thing that I don't know, it was like a hot air balloon feeling, where I kind of felt like I was literally rising in the sky. I don't know. It was a very strange sensation. And then I did the opposite. I guess I was inhaling and pushing down, and then like doing like that release actually made me feel like for a second like I was floating. Maybe I just didn't get enough sleep.
Well, maybe you didn't have enough energy drinks, the little bottle of energy drink.
No energy drink today.
But Harry, I don't know, I just tried and it does. It's like there's like something like your body's relaxed when you're exhaling. At the same time, you're like slowly going against the gravity and just kind of up. Yeah. Thank you. That's a cool experiment. Anybody else? Yeah, I was thinking when I was in down southern Illinois, in the forest, there were rocks. There were a lot of rocks, but there were trees in between rocks, like and we got into conversation with my kids, like, so which one's stronger, is tree or rock, over time. And it just kind of reminded me how all those nature things, they evolve and they change, and you never know. Sometimes maybe rock will overpower this tree, but sometimes it might do vice versa and things like that. So I was just remembering those moments. Yes. Okay. So next one I wanted to do, I have two sounding pieces. Let's see if we have time for those two. But first, I wanted to do the senseless musical emptying. And this is the one I know with last week we kind of experimented with making sounds before, during, at the same time, or we did like with camera on and off. But this one is with an instrument or voice. You can use or any sounds that you can find on your table if you don't have any instruments. Anything you can have, cups or pens can make a sound. They are instruments in your voice, and not much preparation or thought is needed. And you're just gonna play a sound and let the impulse make longer rambles or sounds in an effortless manner until finding a continuous rambling. And we'll find the natural decay of energy, and that we'll hear the ending. So this is just senseless musical emptying. You can make any noise you want. Just follow your impulse. And here we go. Okay. Thank you, Parker. I was really digging the vocals on that one. I think it was from Kelly. Oh, lovely. Okay, we're gonna do a quick another round of this, but this time I know it's weird when you're trying to do it. You know, you just because we are on camera. All right, we're gonna turn off camera for a second, and we're just gonna make a lot of noise.
Zoom, zoom, zoom. Hands up, folks.
Nope.
Oh. But ooh. Wow. I think we got to do. Okay, don't go back up. Okay, I think we are pretty good at where we want to be. If you want to come back to screen. That was fun. Thank you. Yeah, I thought I heard Harine going down all the way to low, and then it would just get
I didn't know my
whatever.
voice goes that low.
And then I saw someone. I heard someone going up. Was it a Kelsey? She started like singing up. I'm like, nah. But that was fun. Anybody like to share how that experience? You can do like compare both, or would anyone like to share anything?
Reminded me of cartoon music.
Yeah. I mean, think about like all this cartoon when you know all the musics. I guess I don't know. These days, I think it's a little different than what we've been when we were young, like the sounds and the sound world. I'm like thinking like all those Tom and Jerry's and you know those things like there are a lot of different sounds, but just like happens all over, the sound effects. Yeah, almost as if it's like a impulse sounds, just improvising. Um,
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that because I I don't think I ever realized this, but there is this Looney Tunes. There was a Bugs Bunny playing Liszt at the piano, like the big grand, what is it, the grand polonaise. Um, and I did not realize until 3 weeks ago that there was a nearly identical version of it with Tom and Jerry. Like I had, somehow they had blended in my mind together from my childhood, and there's even a YouTube video of the two side by side showing the similarities and the differences. And yeah, but I was watching one of them with Teo recently, and I was like completely just kind of shocked anew at like just the innovation of how they really blended the visual, these visual elements with the sound, and like in such really funny and actually very like musically insidery ways. I mean, there was like a very sophisticated level of concepting that was happening in that process in both of those versions. It was pretty hilarious.
yeah, totally. That makes me want to actually watch old cartoons with my kids. Yeah. I think there even like if there's like a theater near here where I live that they do like weekend brunches, and kids can actually go in and out of the theater and watch old classic cartoons. I don't know if they still do it. They before pandemic it was a popular one, but not sure if they still do it. If they do, I would love to go check it out. Yeah. Yes, Kelly.
When I mean, I'm a big Mel Blank fan, and I was sad when he passed away. So I was always making noises, and I felt like I was back in grade school where I was always making a ton of noises. No teachers knew where they were coming from. Like, and my voice is so low. They always thought it was a boy, and I was always getting away with everything. But when we were little, we used to go to movies for like, we had like $1 movies. There was one for 79 cents at Ruby Isle, for the kids only. They used to make sure that like kids could, like you could afford your kids back in the day. And they used to have cartoons that would be first. So we always sat down to cartoons. There was always Bugs Bunny or Merry Melodies going on, or Tom and Jerry, or maybe Betty Boop, or some really old things. But we were always thrilled because we didn't have to sit through a bunch of previews, and that changed. That's once as I was growing up, they didn't do that anymore. So I was very influenced by these sounds as a kid, and I heard Hareen doing like the "That's All, Folks" kind of end of the show, so I was picking up on that. And but a lot of the subject matter in the old cartoons are really kind of questionable. It was probably the only place that satire was going on for everyone to see. So some
Yeah,
of it
that's true. I
not really good for us to repeat. There's so,
Yeah, I there was a Pepe Le Pew skit the other day. I was like, oh no, how do I explain this? Let's find something else for now until I figure out how to like. If I can't contextualize it, I don't know. This is pretty wacky.
Yes, Karen.
I'm glad Kelly brought up that idea of like a classroom with all sorts of little noises popping out, because I think the first time through, or one of the first sounding things we did today was an emptying out, and it occurred to me like there's a ritual at the beginning of classroom classes where you kind of have to empty out whatever is on people's minds before you can start a lesson, and so it was sort of like emptying out musical ideas. But then as we started, especially when we turned the cameras off, it was like, oh, we're not just diffusing the energy, but we're building the energy, and that was fun.
Yeah, exactly. I think this. I mean, we love hearing all those voice sounds from Kelly. It's wonderful. I love it. Yes.
by the way, I realized like about 10, 20 years ago that I'm like, I think I can kind of throat sing. And my friend and I tried to do it. He's a male, and he's like, you're getting a lot of vibrations at multiple octaves. I'm like, You know, maybe I'm one of Gingus's as well, you know?
Maybe. And we love having you and hearing all those different sounds you can make. Um, and I think totally. I mean, I think I totally agree with Karen's point that, we started out, I mean, this whole thing was senseless musical emptying. You're not supposed to think, you're supposed to just make a sound and just bunch of sounds just jumbled together. But, at the end, it's I think it's just a human nature that, when we're listening to each other, I mean, since it's coming through our ears, we start to think and we start to respond to each other. We start to having a relationship. We're start building an energy, like Karen said. So we're kind of depart from the senseless musical emptying, but in a way, we're emptying ourselves, but we're creating something new within a community. So I think that's kind of goes well with another way with this tech score. So thank you so much for joining us today. Had a great fun, and we will be back here on Thursday at 9:30. Hope to see everyone here and have a great Tuesday and Wednesday until we see you next time. Bye.